visual bugs are problems that do not have any functional impact and are only related to the GUI, the graphical user interface of the site or the app. So basically, if you see a problem that does not interrupt any feature or function, it is a visual bug. Let's have a look at some examples I prepared for you in the Test.io Academy. Let us have a look at the examples for the look or the layout problems. Here you see one element which is not aligned with all the other elements. Still, it can be normally clicked and does not lose any function due to the shiftment. So this is obviously just a visual bug and not a functional issue. Here we can see two other visual bugs. One is this here. One of the icons is way smaller than all the other icons you can see here. As well, you can see this one box is smaller than all the other boxes. Both of these do not have any functional impact, so these are visual bugs, as you can still click and use the Academy normally. In the third example, we see a problem with inconsistent colors. As you see, all the text normally is gray as well as the icons are. Only these two are different, so probably this is not intended, so you can report this as a visual bug. Last but not least, we can see here an example of unneeded and probably unwanted white spaces. Here you have the search box shifted way below, and there's no reason to have such big space in between here. Same is for this white space here. Normally the texts are like pretty close to each other, just this big white space here, which is obviously a visual bug. Let us have a look at the presentation problems of elements. So here you can see a picture which obviously kind of lost its ratio, so it looks like shifted or weird. So you can report this as a visual problem. Furthermore, as well, text or elements that are shifted into each other or overlapping each other can be reported as visual bugs. Here you can still read all the text, you can click all the elements, so there's no function impact, so this is a visual bug. Here you see another example, which is cropped images. You see normally all the images are circles, and here they are cut at the end. As well, there's like a little part of the text missing. Still, this is not a functional issue, as the text is not really important, so you can keep this as a visual bug. Another example is when the chosen colors make it really hard to read any text. As you might see here, there is text when I highlight it, but it can really hardly be seen when it is not marked, so this obviously can be reported as a visual bug. Any problems with the font can be reported as visual bugs too. So if there's a different font used, or if there's like italic or bold in between, which doesn't look like it is wanted, you can report it. But obviously, please do not report any text highlighting the customer do by purpose with like italic or bold. Last but not least, let's have a look at cross-browser testing. Here in Firefox, you can see the Academy page as you're used to it. When you switch to Google Chrome, you can see all the icons are missing. So this can be reported as a visual bug too. To sum it up, we have three different kinds of visual bugs. First is look or layout problems. So any problems with alignment, inconsistency, spacing or white spaces. Second are presentation problems. So if anything is cut off, overlapping, hard to see, has a wrong ratio, or for example the font is changing. Last but not least, we have cross-browser or cross-device problems. So missing elements or design problems. In some cases, visual bugs should be updated to functional bugs. This is when the visual problem causes any functional problem. So, for example, if a button can't be seen anymore or is so much shifted that it can't be clicked anymore, the function is blocked and therefore it should be updated to a functional bug. But if there's an intuitive and easy workaround, it remains a visual bug. For example, in the search bar there are two glasses shown, only one of them is functional. So only one of them starts the search. It should still be a visual problem, as the second one still starts the search, and there's an easy and intuitive workaround. Visual bugs at test.io are an own bug type and need to be enabled explicitly from the customer. Most of the tests do not have visual bugs enabled. Visual bugs most times only need a screenshot. They only need an additional screencast if there's a step needed that can't be easily seen in the screenshot, as maybe an action is needed to see this visual problem. Repetitive problems should only be reported once. This is the same as for content bugs and all other bugs you might encounter. When should I report only one bug? If the same problem occurs multiple times at the same place. For example, a lot of images in the FAQs are shifted. So when the problem happens at the same page, it is most likely to be a repetitive or a systematic error. Even when it is not the cause, the customer will see and know the other problematic parts due to this one bug report. Also, when the same element is broken. So for example, all placeholder text in input fields can hardly be read due to the chosen color of the text. So to sum it up, when should you only report a bug once? If the same problem occurs multiple times at the same place, or if you can see a system in the problem, it is a systematic error, which should always only be reported once. So obviously more interesting for you is when you can report several bugs. If a similar problem occurs multiple times at totally different places, for example, there's a cropped image at the homepage and one in the FAQs. They are obviously not related, so you can report this in two different bugs. Also, if there's an element shifted in the homepage and on the product detail page, it does not have anything to do with each other, so please report several bug reports for this. If you are not sure, you always have a joker. Ask your team leader for a short feedback before you're reporting tons of bugs. This was a short video about the visual bugs, so please leave a comment or a like for us, and I hope you will now understand visual bugs better than before.